In the opening scenes of the film, the audience is plunged into the gritty world of contract killers, where loyalty and survival intertwine in a deadly dance. Meet Denny, a seasoned assassin who has chosen to leave behind his past in the Special Forces. Guiding him through the shadows is Hunter, not just a mentor, but a trusted friend forged in the fires of countless missions. Their latest assignment takes them to the sun-soaked streets of Mexico, where they are joined by fellow killers Davis and Meyer. The tension is palpable as they await their target, but when the moment arrives, chaos erupts. Meyer's bomb shatters the night, and Denny moves with precision, eliminating their mark amidst the chaos. Yet, in the aftermath, a chilling realization dawns as Denny comes face to face with a child, a silent witness to their violence. Before he can process the weight of his actions, the blare of sirens pierces the air, and Denny finds himself in the crosshairs of the law. It's only Hunter's swift intervention that saves him from certain death, underscoring the bond between mentor and protege. Fast forward to Denny's peaceful retreat in the wilds of Australia, where the tranquility is shattered by a single photograph. Hunter held captive by the sinister grip of Arab oil mafia. Denny's fury ignites like a wildfire, propelling him on a journey to confront his agent, John, whose betrayal threatens to unravel everything. As Denny and John traverse the tumultuous landscape of their past, secrets emerge like specters from the shadows. Hunter's failed mission, a debt unpaid, and a dangerous pact with a vengeful mafia kingpin, Sheikh Amir. Denny's resolve is tested as he grapples with the weight of his choices, torn between loyalty to his mentor and the call of redemption. Upon reaching the heart of the mafia's stronghold, Denny is met with a chilling revelation. Sheikh Amir's thirst for vengeance, born from the blood of his fallen sons, casts a dark shadow over their mission. With Hunter's life hanging in the balance, Denny must navigate a treacherous path of deceit and danger, where every step could be his last. In a final showdown with fate, Denny confronts Hunter, whose weathered visage belies the turmoil within. Their bond, forged in the crucible of battle, is tested to its limits as they stand on the precipice of destiny. With the odds stacked against them, Denny must summon the courage to defy fate and carve his own path to redemption. Now, Denny has no choice but to complete this mission. He desperately wants to free Hunter and return to retirement in Australia. Denny has promised himself to live a normal life soon, so he can build a family with his girlfriend, Anna. Therefore, Denny immediately flies to France to meet with Davis and Meyer. Upon arrival in France, Denny joins Device in boxing practice, then explains everything about their mission. Denny also states that he will not take any reward. He only wants to do it to free Hunter, so all the rewards can be enjoyed by Davis and Meyer. After agreeing on the money distribution, Denny shows them a photo of their target, Stephen Harris, or often called Martin, a former SAS soldier living in Oman. Without wasting time, Denny immediately goes to Oman. There, he sneaks into Martin's house while Martin is asleep in his room. Denny takes a piece of the bathroom floor to make a weapon to kill Martin, so the police will consider it an accident, not murder. Meanwhile, Davis is at a diner in England, a place frequented by retired SAS members. There, Davis tries to find out more about SAS members who have fought in Oman. However, one visitor becomes suspicious of Davis and reports him to a former SAS member, Spike. Since then, former SAS members have started tapping into Device and searching for information about Davis as a loyal member of the organization. Spike gathers retired SAS members to discuss this matter, but his efforts are in vain because no member wants to get involved. Finally, Spike acts alone and goes to Oman with his henchman Martin. Upon arrival in Oman, Martin monitors Davis's movements and also observes Denny and Meyer making murder weapons. However, Denny realizes that they are being watched when he sees the reflection of light from Martin's camera. Denny and his friends chase Martin into an underground tunnel. Unfortunately, Martin manages to escape after blocking the path by hitting a wasp nest. Due to Martin's presence, Denny and his friends have to be more careful. The next day, Davis is tasked with sabotaging Martin's girlfriend's car so she won't witness Martin's death. At the same time, Denny and Meyer are already at Martin's house. Without wasting time, Meyer immediately ties Martin's hands, while Denny prepares his equipment in the bathroom. Before the execution, Denny records Martin's confession that he killed Samidi's son named Hussein. Martin admits it, but he says there was someone else involved in the murder and everything is written in a book. Denny doesn't care much about Martin's words, and they execute Martin according to the original plan. Suddenly, someone knocks on the door, and it turns out to be Martin's girlfriend. The woman comes to ask for fare money for a taxi. After she leaves, Denny returns to the bathroom and sees Martin's body on the floor. Meyer killed him because he couldn't wait. Next, Denny will fly to England to continue his mission. On the plane, he imagines Anna as the reason for his retirement. He really hopes to live peacefully with her. On the other hand, Davis approaches an informant to gather information about SHS so he can find the next murder target. However, this informant becomes suspicious and immediately reports to Spike. Seeing this, Davis doesn't stay silent. He immediately takes a brush and destroys it brutally. Afterward, Device retrieves some important documents from the informant's place. The informant's death is then reported to Spike, who finally informs the former SAS members that Denny and his team are the most dangerous killers because they can penetrate the SAS network. Therefore, Spike must act quickly before Denny kills more SAS members. At the same time, Denny's team gathers again. Davis informs them of the next assassination target, which is Crack, a man who was involved in the death of Samidi's son. Denny prepares a new plan to ensure their assassination goes unnoticed by the SAS. First, Denny disguises himself as a doctor to steal some drugs to be used as poison for Crack. Unfortunately, Spike catches him red-handed outside the hospital, and they end up in a chase. Denny then leads Spike into an empty room and attacks him relentlessly. Unexpectedly, Spike possesses incredible fighting skills, making it difficult for Denny to defeat him. After struggling for a while, Denny finally manages to defeat Spike in a brilliant move by punching Spike's beloved private parts. Unfortunately, Denny doesn't have time to finish Spike off. He quickly goes to meet Davis and Meyer at their hiding place. They will continue their plan to assassinate Crack, but this plan is somewhat risky as they have to infiltrate the SAS headquarters. Without much ado, they head straight to the location. Here, Denny will disguise himself as a training soldier, as Crack will be involved in this activity. Meanwhile, Device's task is to divert attention, and Meyer watches from afar. When Denny gets inside, he immediately puts poison into Crack's tea. Denny then participates in the SAS training, which is held amidst snowfall. Before long, Crack collapses while walking, his heart gradually weakening. Denny approaches him and records Crack's confession of involvement in the murder. This recording is immediately watched by Spike. The news of Crack's death eventually reaches Spike's ears while he's watching the news. Some people disrespect Crack's death by playing music, angering Spike. On the other hand, John meets Denny again, intending to inform him of the next target, Simon. Davis hesitates a bit to continue the mission, but for Hunter's sake, they must finish it quickly. The next day, Denny contacts his son before proceeding with his mission. He promises to come home soon, so he won't be mistaken for someone else. However, the son seems confused about Denny's true identity as a killer. Denny promises to reveal his true profession after everything is settled. After contacting his girlfriend, Denny gets into Device's car and monitors Simon's movements. Simon, a retired major despite having back problems, can still handle himself, as demonstrated by his thrashing of a troublemaker who damaged his car. But then, Spike suddenly appears to separate the two parties. Denny is surprised to see him and, out of curiosity, follows Spike to an abandoned building. There, Spike realizes he's being followed, while Denny bribes two kids in the building to disclose Simon's identity. Next, Denny leads a strategy meeting to execute Simon. This time, he must play it safe because Spike will be watching Simon, which also complicates Denny's plan to record Simon's confession. Therefore, he plans to create a fake recording with Device pretending to be Simon. After learning the identities, he seeks help from a friend, Midwig, a former British soldier who is familiar with the former SAS members. John wants Midwig to ensure that the CS doesn't interfere with Denny and his friend's work. Midwig quickly meets one of the group's members, Guling, and persuades him not to disrupt Denny's mission. Guling agrees, and Midwig convinces the rest of the group to ignore Spike's plans. This infuriates Spike, prompting him to leave the group. From now on, he'll act alone. Meanwhile, Meyer sneaks into a truck garage and installs remote control on a truck. This truck will pass by the same route as Simon's usual path, allowing them to control it and crash into Simon's car, making his death look like a traffic accident. They also gain a new ally, Jack. The next day, they execute their plan. Meyer controls the truck, while the others watch from afar. When Simon approaches, Meyer steers the truck, crashing into Simon's car. Although their mission succeeds, Meyer and Jack are spotted by Spike's henchmen, leading to a chase. When Meyer is cornered, Jack decides to shoot one of Spike's henchmen, but unfortunately, the bullet also hits Meyer, killing them both. Seeing his friend die, Denny is furious with Jack, but he has no time and quickly takes a communication radio from Spike's henchman's car, ordering Jack to contact John to clean up the mess. After that, Denny and Davis bid farewell to each other as the mission is complete. On the other side, Spike becomes increasingly enraged with Denny's team, especially after learning that his henchman has been killed. Meanwhile, Device is in a hotel, hiring a waiter who turns out to be Spike's spy. The waiter immediately reports Davis's location to Spike, who sends his henchmen to capture Davis. Spike's henchmen contact their boss via radio, which Denny overhears. Davis manages to escape and tries to hijack a car, but gets shot in the process. Then, Spike instructs his henchmen to check the phone number in Davis's jacket. Afterward, Spike enters a building, only to find Denny already there, pointing a gun at him. Denny doesn't intend to kill Spike. He's fed up with bloodshed and only wants to warn Spike to stop his actions. If Spike persists, Denny will finish him off. After threatening Spike, Denny meets Amir and gives him the recording of Martin's confession. Then, he takes Hunter away. Denny pleads with Hunter to retire and live a normal life like a regular grandfather. At the same time, Spike receives information about John, who turns out to be Denny's agent. The next day, Denny returns to Australia and reunites with his loved ones, relieved to see each other again. Late at night, Denny receives a call from John, but it's through the house phone. According to John, Denny has mistakenly killed the wrong target, and Martin wasn't the one who killed Amir. If Denny doesn't resolve this issue promptly, Anna will be killed. Panicked, Denny immediately takes Anna to Paris to hide temporarily. Upon arrival in Paris, Denny leaves Anda at Hunter's house while he heads to London to resolve his issues. Hunter wants to help, but Denny prohibits him. Denny wastes no time and confronts Spike's henchmen at a hideout. He demands an explanation from Bahai about the true target, feeling deceived by this guy. Denny then meets John to inquire about the real target, fitness alias Anus. Meanwhile, John remains unaware that his office has been bugged by Spike. In a twist of events, Denny arrives at Anus's address wearing a helmet and all-black attire, unaware that Spike is watching him. As Denny enters the location, a bomb explosion propels his body, causing him to fly far away. Spec rushes to check on him, only to find out that the person wearing the helmet is not Denny, but Jack. Denny, on the other hand, is already in Enos's room, beating him unconscious before recalling the boy from earlier in the film. Eventually, Denny manages to finish off Enos, photographing his deeds as evidence before escaping through the building's rooftop. Witnessing this, Spike immediately orders his henchmen to attack Denny. Unfortunately, Denny is cornered and captured, subjected to torture by Spike's men. Meanwhile, Martin turns out to be alive, having been shot with rubber bullets. Spec wonders why Denny didn't kill him. Spike then interrogates Denny to uncover the mastermind behind the murders of former SAS members. Denny reveals everything, including Midwig's involvement, infuriating Spike. Denny also reveals that Martin's youngest son signed a deal with the British for oil business, causing his brother's deaths in battle. Enraged, Denny attacks both Midwig and Spike mercilessly, even though he's bound. He defeats them and quickly jumps out of the window, escaping the scene. On the other hand, Spike decides to kill Midwig, but loses track of Denny, who has fled by hijacking a car. Simultaneously, John brings a hitman to eliminate Hunter, intending to use Anda as bait. However, Hunter fights back and kills the hitman barehanded, sparing John's life despite being betrayed. The next day, Hunter meets Denny, who has arrived in Oman. He plans to provide evidence to Martin, overseeing from afar and standing guard in case of any disturbance. However, Spike visits Martin and Bait first. Martin, lying on his sickbed, receives the fake photo of Enos's death from Spike. Then, Spike stabs Martin to death, revealing his true colors. Nevertheless, Speck isn't saddened at all, anticipating a large inheritance. He then hands $6 million to Spike as transportation back to England, much to Hunter's dismay. Hunter realizes Spike's betrayal and shoots at their car, then pursues Spike. Eventually, Spike is cornered and defeated. Denny asks Speck what happened inside Martin's house, and Speck replies truthfully, just as he did before. Hunter then opens his money case, giving some remaining bundles to Spike for his return trip. Hunter is done dealing with Martin's family, but Spike still has to face Martin's loyal henchmen. Therefore, Denny doesn't need to bother killing him. In the end, Denny returns to Paris and reunites with his beloved, marking the end of the film. Thanks for joining. Your thoughts mean a lot, so drop a line in the comments if you feel like sharing. Also, if there's a movie you'd love to see reimagined into a fun story, just give me a shout. Let's keep the good vibes rolling.